Hiya, my name is Jess and welcome to my channel, Have a Look at This. Today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review of Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, which is the first book in the Grisha Trilogy. Shadow and Bone is the story of a young orphan girl called Alina who lives in the Imperial Russia-inspired kingdom of Ravka. Ravkan society is essentially divided into two classes. You have the ordinary people and then you have the supernaturally gifted Grisha. One day Alina is revealed to be Grisha when she manages to summon light. She is taken away to the palace where they believe that she is there to fulfill the destiny of the Sun Summoner, this prophesized figure that is meant to help destroy the Shadowfold, which is a sort of living darkness that has split the Ravkan lands in two for years. I had quite mixed feelings about this book. There were elements of it, like the setting, which I really enjoyed, and then there were other bits that I just feel were sort of underplayed and that Leigh Bardugo could have done a lot more with. Overall, I didn't really feel like it lived up to the hype like I expected it to, but that's not to say that I didn't really enjoy this book. My favourite element of it was undoubtedly the setting. A lot of fantasy books use a very sort of stock image, medieval European fantasy setting, but this one didn't, and that was really refreshing to see. The incorporation of Russian mythology and Russian language just gave it a really unusual and distinctive feel that I really enjoyed. One complaint that I do have, and for me this was the biggest issue with the story, is that she never really explained things such as like the hierarchy and the magic system. All of the Grisha are divided into these different categories such as like corporalky and etherealky. I don't speak Russian. And I just feel like these systems were never really explained. You just sort of had a lot of these different terms like thrown at you that you didn't really understand. And I understand that Leigh Bardugo was probably just trying to avoid information dumps, but occasionally I was just like, give me an information dump. So yeah, there were just bits that I really feel like I missed and didn't understand because they just weren't fully explained. Very much the traditional girl finds out she has a secret powers, girl goes through all these trials and tribulations trying to find out how to use that power, and ultimately I found that storyline quite satisfying. My only complaints about it would be that it felt quite a lot like a starter book, you know, like a book that had been written solely to kind of like ease us into the main action. I just felt like a lot of the main plot points weren't really established until quite late in the read. I understand that this is the first book in the trilogy and that Leigh Bardugo isn't just going to start, you know, setting out all the subplots there and there. I quite enjoyed the characters in this book. I felt that Alina was a really well-suited narrator. She was quite snarky, she was quite cynical. Towards the end, I did feel as if she was a bit, I don't want to say too dependent, because there's no shame in being dependent on others, but I just feel like we caught some glimpses of a really powerful Alina, of an Alina that has a lot of potential, and in the last few scenes of the book, I sort of feel like she let things be done for her rather than assert that power that I know that she had. However, I've got a lot of hope for her character and I feel that she is going to prove herself to be a really excellent heroine in the later two books. Mal is Alina's childhood best friend. He attended the same orphanage as her, they grew up together. When Mal is first introduced, he is a very cocky character, he's very boyish. As the story progresses, because there's quite a big chunk where you don't see Mal, when his character reappears, he's very, very different, and I just sort of feel like we didn't get to see his journey to becoming that different character as much as I would have liked to. However, I feel like he was a very loyal friend. There's something very solid about his character, and with all the things that's been going on in Alina's story and Alina's life, he's a very useful character to have there with his solidity. The Darkling! Everyone seems to love the Darkling. I didn't love the Darkling. I understand what the appeal of him is. It was really great to see a villain in a YA book that is morally grey. You sort of understand what he's talking about, you sort of see his points, but at the same time he does some really awful things. And there were a lot of times where I was just like, whoa, what are you doing? Slow down there. He was a very complex character, he was very enjoyable to read about. I did feel as if he was a bit impenetrable in a way, like I didn't really understand his character as much as I would have liked to, but again, I know that this is the first book in a trilogy and that Leigh Bardugo is going to peel back layers of him slowly until I have a really good understanding of his character. He's like an onion. The other supporting characters were really enjoyable. I loved hearing about Genya. I feel like she was quite a vivid and lively character. I loved getting a glimpse of her relationship with David and I can't wait to see how that plays out more in the book. Baghra, who is Alina's trainer. Did I say that right? Baghra. I felt that she was a really interesting dynamic character, and the rapport that she and Alina had was really unique, and I hope that's continued in later books. Overall, my main problem with the story was just the fact that I felt that things like the class system, things like the Grisha's powers, just weren't really fully explained. However, I enjoyed the characters, I absolutely loved the world. Hopefully I'll be picking up the next 2 installments of this series soon. So overall, I've given this book a 3 out of 5 stars. If you enjoy YA fantasy, if you'd like to see some more unique settings and unique mythology, then I would definitely recommend you pick this one up. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.